Hi everyone, Kirsten here. So just recently, March just officially hit, I think 3 or a couple of days ago, according to by the time I upload this video, of course. So that means today I am gonna be starting my monthly favorites video. So in case if you missed last month's video of when I first started to record my monthly favorites videos, basically it's the type of videos I thought about doing where I would talk to you guys on my update on life, foods I have been loving and trying, experiences I've had, products I've been loving for this past month, and so on. So you pretty much get it. Without further ado, I am gonna go ahead and dive right on into these questions. Question number 1 is, what is the funniest thing that has happened to you? The funniest thing that happened this month was when, of course, again, like I mentioned last month, something to do with my grandfather. Basically every morning or every afternoon or so, once in a great while, I'll chat with my grandfather and and we'll make random references or make little jokes to each other, you know? Well, anyway, we were listening to classic 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s type of music, you know? And the funniest thing is we would start singing and then we would always get a pretty good laugh out of how we make these song interpretations. Occasionally I'll reword some of these lyrics and stuff, because I know my dad used to do that all the time, where he would just take songs out of something he already knows and just kind of reword it into something so funny. Take the song Too Sexy, for instance. You know that one song, I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt. You know, that type of song. Just little things like that. So in this case, I was just randomly joking around and I was like, I'm too sexy for my ass, too sexy for my ass. And then Grandpa started laughing. I know it doesn't sound that funny, honestly, but my grandfather was laughing so hard and I even got a big kick out of that myself, so I would say that's the funniest thing that happened to me this month. Question number 2 is, what books did you read? For my theater appreciation class, which I am taking this year, I got to read one book this month, and I'm pretty sure I've covered this already in my TMI tag, but basically I have been reading The Creative Spirit, An Introduction to Theater by Stephanie Arnold. The next few months or so, I'm just gonna be reading this book until I graduate, honestly. But basically, starting with next month, instead of the question being said, you know, what books did you read? Instead of, what books did I read? I'm gonna be changing that into, what did I learn from this book or something? I'll be sure to cover that next month, but I believe I have read 5 or 6 chapters at the very least. So I'm not very far in this book, as you can tell from these little bookmarks at the top right here. But starting with next month, I will be sure to tell you guys and explain about what I've read in this book so far. So far, I'm actually enjoying this book very much, and yeah, it's a very good educational book. I really do enjoy it. Question number 3 is, what movies/TV shows have you watched? I am still watching Supernatural, honestly. I know you're probably gonna hear me say Supernatural for the next few months, honestly, but my god, there is so much seasons I have to cover. But basically, I think the last time I mentioned about Supernatural, I was on season 2, I believe. The seasons I got to cover for this month was season 3, 4, and 5. As a matter of fact, this week I actually did get to finish season 5 in particular. So far I am really into Supernatural. It is a fun TV show to watch. And also I am still watching Homeland season 6. Yes, I am. And then in terms of movies I have watched Hannibal, which is a really good movie. I enjoyed that movie so much. It is the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. If you got time already, it is on Netflix, so you should definitely watch it. I also got to watch Suicide Squad. This movie was actually really good. I enjoyed the living shit out of it, and if I end up going to Best Buy or something, I'm definitely going to be getting that movie because I absolutely enjoyed that movie so much. I also got to watch I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in This House, I believe the title is called. I wasn't a huge fan of that movie, so that's something I don't recommend. I also got to watch a movie in theaters, actually, which is 50 Shades Darker. I absolutely enjoyed the sequel so much. So much better than the original, which I also got to see in theaters about a couple years ago with my aunt. And this year I actually went to go see the sequel with my aunt. Those are the movies and TV shows that I got to watch this month. Question number 4 is, what is something you did that made you proud of yourself? I have given this some pretty good thought, honestly. During the summer, before I attended for my fall semester, basically, I was in this mindset that I felt like I've been in school for so long that I just felt like I was completely sick and over it. But as much as I got really tired of school, I feel very proud that even though I felt like I had the need to just drop out of college and just move on with my life, I actually do feel very proud of myself for trying to make it until graduation, because I gotta be honest with you, it would be rather stupid of me to just randomly drop out of college when I'm actually this close to reaching my studio arts degree. So what I plan to do is just wait until I graduate and move someplace before I could, move on with my life, get a job, which of course by the time I graduate, I hope I can get into the fields of the jobs I wanted to apply for once I graduated. Question number 5 is, which games have you been playing? I finally got to beat Bloodborne. I felt like I've played that game for so long that I felt like I was just kind of over it and felt like I needed to move on into other things. What I planned to do in that video game was to try to find the hidden boss, but honestly, the fact that I was playing that game for months at a time, I felt like I just needed to just ended the game. So I did beat the game, credits have rolled, but I figured I would go back to it later and just move on to another game, which I've already done, to be honest. I started playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. I actually covered this in my Christmas haul video. I mentioned that if I ended up beating Bloodborne, I would move on into either Rise of the Tomb Raider or to just move on into Final Fantasy 15. Why it was hard for me to say that, I honestly don't have a clue. So, since I know Final Fantasy 15 was probably going to be a long-ass video game, I went ahead and decided to get my hands onto some Rise of the Tomb Raider video game. So I did beat the game this month, credits have rolled, and now I am just going through this game to find collectibles and complete trophies and stuff, so that is what I'm hoping to achieve before March ends or something. And yes, I will eventually be moving on into Final Fantasy 15, which I'm very excited about. This game is honestly so amazing. I love the graphics in this game, and I absolutely love the storyline, so I definitely highly recommend this video game so much. It is so fun to play. Question number 6 is, did you travel anywhere? I got to go back to school this month, actually, so that's the only thing I got to do this month. Nothing really that exciting, so that was the only thing I did, honestly. Question number 7 is, what foods did you try and loved? To begin, I have been loving these Cliff Bars recently, and that is the oatmeal raisin walnut. These are really good if you don't have enough time to eat breakfast in the morning, Or it's one of those things where it's like you just figured this would hold you off until dinner. This is pretty good for that. There's another thing of chips I have been loving lately this month also. Kind of similar to like the sweet Maui onion that I got to try last month. The only difference is it is these babies right here from Costco. It tastes so good. Basically, they're like Funyun rings, only they're so much sweeter. I absolutely love this, including everybody else. This is where the good old chips are at right now, so everybody in this household, including myself, have been just consuming these babies lately. Another thing I got to try out this month is these rice crackers. Now, I've actually seen a YouTuber eat these type of crackers before, and I was actually really curious to try them out myself. These are actually really good. I enjoy these. So the next thing I got to try is this. The brand is called Beyond Meat, and it's like these grilled vegan chicken strips of some kind. I think this is a pretty good alternative to chicken. This is really good, and I really do enjoy this. There is a type of salsa that I got to try this month as well. It is by Amy's, and it is the black bean and corn salsa. Honestly, this stuff is so good. I enjoy this type of salsa so much. Honestly, this stuff tastes pretty amazing. This one is definitely a winner. Other things I got to try out this month, Amy's Pizza. It's honestly really good pizza. That was the first time I actually got to try her pizza brand. I also got to try out the Sweet Earth Natural Foods veggie burger, and when I first got to try it out, it was too spicy for me, but then when I had it as a leftover, I thought it was so good. I also got to try out the Lightwood organic veggie burger, and I also got to try out Light Life's smart meatless veggie hot dogs, and honestly, the first time I've tried them out, they weren't very pleasing for me, but I actually did get to enjoy it this month for some weird reason. I've learned to definitely adapt to that taste, that's for sure, and normally I'm not the type of person that gets into hot dogs for that matter, but that to me I think was a little bit better this month for some weird reason. I don't know why. Must be the toppings that I had on it or something, but yeah. Those were the foods I got to try this month. Question number 8 is, which songs have you been listening to the most? Obviously, besides the Birthday Massacre, the songs I have been listening to, it was definitely In the End by Black Veil Brides. Now, normally I don't get into Black Veil Brides, but that song to me is really good. There's In the End by Linkin Park, and there is In the End by Black Veil Brides. I also got to listen to Diamond Eyes by Deftones. I absolutely love Deftones, and I have been re-listening to them lately. I also got to listen to Collide's White Rabbit, which is a very catchy song. I absolutely love the melody in that song in Pacific. I also got to listen to Can't Sleep, Can't Breathe by Digital Daggers. Again, another catchy song that I absolutely love. And of course, last but not least, is something I have been listening to the most often ever since I got out of theaters to watch 50 Shades of Grey. The song is called I Am Not Afraid Anymore, and it is by Hensley or Halsey or something. I have been listening to that song non-stop lately. Question number 9. What are your favorite items for this month? Okay, so you guys may have noticed that the audio quality of the sound from my Sinful Sundays videos have sounded so much different lately, and that is because I recently ended up getting 2 items for this month that made so much of a difference with like the quality of my voice and how it sounds when I actually do my voiceovers or like narration for my Sinful Sundays episodes. And that is a few things here. This round disc looking thing. This is called a pop filter. And basically what that does is anytime you voice over anything where it has like these pop related noises when you speak, this is pretty good for blocking this out completely. Last thing I wanted to cover from my good old Blue Yeti here is this little foam looking thing. This is called a vocal beat, and basically this helps to reduce like any blowing sounds. It randomly covers the wind or like loud noise type of sounds, and it makes it sound a little bit more quieter than usual. So I thought that was pretty good for that as well. I have been loving these two for my narrations for this month, so I am definitely gonna give this baby into some pretty good use. Final question at number 10 is, what is something you learned? I felt like I've got to learn so much about theater that I had lack of knowledge of. So I felt like I got to learn about so much of the pre-production stuff, as well as like everything I covered from the book that I've learned. I felt like I've got to learn so much about theater history, about the difference between religious and secular theater, as well as like how screenplays work and genres and how they're interpreted and plot structure, that type of stuff. I felt like I've got to learn so much about that this month. So that is pretty much it for all I had covered. I will definitely give you guys another update for next month on what have been my favorites lately. I hope you guys enjoyed this video altogether. So if you did and you would love to see more of my videos in the near future, just be sure to sucker punch that like button down below. And if you haven't already, please do dedicate the time and effort to subscribe to my lovely channel to become a part of my army of darkness, and you will be updated with a brand new video every single Friday as well as Sundays now. So that is pretty much it. If you guys are interested in following me outside of YouTube, all of my social medias will be, of course, listed in the description box down below. So if you're interested, be sure to check them out, follow, do whatever. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking to the end of this video. You guys are so awesome for doing that. It really does mean a lot to me in the end. So have a completely chill week, an awesome day or night, and I will talk to you all soon in the next video. So until then, stay completely dark and so fucking brutal and awesome, my friends. So take care. Bye for now. They say that these woodlands contain the path to paradise itself. It has been a long way to reach these mythical guardians. My knees are scraped and bloodied from the various thorns nipping at my legs along the path. Snakes and sirens were attempting to seduce me with their hypocrisy, but I refused to heed their calling. I was a pure at heart, unspoiled by all temptation and evil.